The other day, one of my subscribers or one of my followers on Twitter has sent me a story about the coonstress known as Candace Owens, in which she was basically going at Colin Kaepernick for whatever reason, basically doing the dirty work of palm-colored America, in which she just ever so loves to do ever so often. And there's a growing trend that I see when it comes to people like her, but especially her in particular. Whenever she does a commentary that speaks against a certain group, mainly us in America, they will flood the comment section to give her all kinds of kudos and praise and whatnot. But one comment in particular I often always see when it comes to her, whenever she says something that appeases palm-colored America, at least the conservative portion of it, is Candace Owens should run and be the first female president, as if that will ever happen, because she has two things working against her already. One, she is black, even though she never really acts like it. And two, she is a woman. She might get the votes, see, at that point, that's when she's really going to show her ass, because then I would like to see how she would fare with black people, considering they love to pander to us. And that's what she's going to have to do. She's going to have to start pandering. And she's never done that to or for black people before. Not that we'd want it anyway. As you can see, black people have been rejecting the pandering from these last few candidates who have dropped out, and some of them who still need to drop out. But anyway, that's a comment, excuse me, that I often see from the conservative portion of palm-colored America, is that she needs to run for president and everything like that. I had posted a tweet onto my Twitter account that says, when you hear people say Candace Owens needs to become the first female president because she's the voice for palm-colored people, what's the first thing that comes to mind? I had got a lot of responses, and pretty much everybody came to the same consistency, like, who said that? Why would they say that? And, memes and everything like that. I'm going to put it like this. They have her on a very tight leash. Let me put it, and the reason why I say that, if you remember, last year, Candace Owens stepped out of line. She had said something. I forgot the man's name. And I forgot what platform she was on. I want to say it was maybe Fox News where she was at. It was either Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. It was one of those platforms where she was going at it with some palm-colored male. And the people that was cheering for her damn near turned on her in the blink of an eye. And she straightened right the hell up. And she ain't jumped off course since. Now, mind you, she's not at Turning Point USA anymore. They got rid of her. They never talk about that. And it's crazy because her little cheerleaders or whatnot, they didn't even try to fight to see if they can get her back on. But then they try to cover it up and basically say it wasn't for her anyway. But that's how she really built up her platform. This is the same woman that said racism doesn't exist and everything like that. But back in 2008, she sued her college for racism and got paid a certain amount of money. And then she ended up leaving the school, but she never talks about that, and neither do her supporters. This woman is a natural born hypocrite. And the thing about her suing the school is public knowledge. How much she got paid is also public knowledge, and it wasn't much. She only got paid like less than $40,000. I think it was like 37 something. So for her to say racism doesn't exist, but while taking this money for dealing with discrimination when she was in college, that makes her a liar and a hypocrite. But palm-colored America, well, the ones that's listening to her and said that she should be the first female president, will eat everything that she says up. And the thing is, she can talk about all these liberals and liberal this and liberal that because they allow her to do that. But if she ever steps out of line and gets a little too comfortable, meaning with what she did last year and which she probably never speaks on again, they will get her together quick, fast, and in a hurry. And she knows that. She knows who her handlers are. And they are the ones that are holding the scissors while she's attached to the strings. Like they was about to cut her off. I wish they would have went all the way and did it. But she had to check herself and pull herself back in. and realized where she was at and who she works for, who pays her, who signs her checks. Without the support of a certain sector of palm-colored America, Candace would have absolutely nothing. She would be truly irrelevant. The only reason she still maintains her little status or whatever is because she goes around and parades herself as the black version of as the Saltine Queen. Those two are like literally two peas in the same pot. It's just that one is palm colored and the other one isn't. Although the latter is kind of hard to tell. And that's another thing. One of them said when people like Candace Owens say something like this, then the third, she's referred to as an Oreo and everything. They're talking about black people in the comment section. They don't have to say that they're talking about black people. Because let's be real here. We're the only ones that will call a coon an Oreo. I know that's the nickname I gave David Clark. I call him the David the Oreo Clark, which was a well-deserved name. And see, Candace, she speaks in a tone where she sounds like she knows every damn thing, and she really doesn't. It's easy to regurgitate something that's been written to you in a script or something that's been fed to you by palm-colored America, and then you speak on it as if you know what the hell you're talking about. And they love when she goes after certain people that black people hold in high regard. Like, believe it or not, it's still some people that hold Colin Kaepernick in very high regard. So when she went at him in that article, they loved to go at him and then at us while lifting her up. But the thing is, like I said, Candace Owens, she could be spewing a whole bunch of lies, what she really is, but she has to continue doing that in order to have some form of relevancy amongst them, because she has no relevancy amongst us. If she loses the relevancy amongst them, she loses it all. And then she's going to have to try to hop the fence. But no, she can stay her ass right on the other side, her and her goddamn dry ends. Because she's nothing more than a traitorous, treasonous individual. Point blank, period. And she knows that, but she's playing, it's almost like she's putting a self Jedi mind trick on herself to tell herself that what she's saying is good for the people. She keeps saying that she's speaking for black America. I'm like, which part of black America are you speaking for? Because not many people in quote unquote black America are listening to you, except for the ones who think like you. And that's a very small section. No, Candace, you are the voice for palm-colored America. That's who you're the voice for. That's who you are the voice for. And she knows it. She does not speak for me. Those who are subscribed to me, for the most part, don't subscribe to her either. Could there have been some things she said that actually did make a shred of sense? Possibly. But that is completely outweighed by the BS that she has said that made absolutely no sense. Like I said, we know who she's the voice for. We know who she speaks for. And there's a saying that when a lot of palm-colored people, especially those who think like that, praise and amen the stuff that she says or any of these other coons and sambos and whoever we want to call them out here, then you know it's an issue. Like all the ones that went up there, and her included, because she was there, and was all up on Trump like he was the Messiah. They called them black leaders. That's who they were talking about. In that video where they was all hyped up on Trump, when Jack Brewer had said Trump is the first black president, when they said black leaders, that's who they're talking about. So apparently Diamond and Silk is a black leader. Jack Brewer is a black leader. Candace Owens is a black leader. Alveda King is a black leader. Brandon Tatum is a black leader. What's his that little mush mouth thing, the one that always talking like he got spit coming out of his mouth, the one that sounds like Donald and Daffy Duck. They say he's a black leader, and so many others. They call people black leaders who subscribe to their ideology. Anyone who is thinking like them is in their eyes is a black leader. And if you are not thinking like them, or you do not move how they do or they operate, then you are an enemy. See, they want all of us to have a hive mindset and all, but the thing is, the hive has to think like the king, like the queen bee. And since they own the hive, that's what they want us to do. See, we will be considered the rebel. That's what we will be considered. We will be considered the rebel. And I'm fine with that, because I like the terminology rebel, to go against, to stand alone, to be the opposition to, in this case, to what we deem to be wicked and evil. But you know what? If that's what a black leader is, I wouldn't even want that title, truthfully and honestly. But then again, we don't need no leaders, especially if the leader's going to be the likes of Candace Owens and those of her ilk. Where they going to lead us to? Probably off of a cliff. But like I said, Candace Owens is the voice for them, not me, not you, not a good collective of us over here. For them. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I will talk to you in the next one.